In 1861, the United States of America ceased to exist. 11 southern states, following the election of Abraham Lincoln, seceded from the Federal Union and a great war followed. It lasted until 1865. This war was known as the Civil War or the War between the states. Historians have never quite agreed on what the main issue of the war was. Some say it was the economic rivalry between the industrial North and the agricultural South, and some say that the basic issue was slavery. There were 18 free states and 15 slave states. The Civil War presented many personal conflicts for those fighting it. In many cases, it involved brother against brother, and in the case presented in this play, father against son. Such inner struggles occur frequently. No country is so wild and difficult, but man will make it a theater of war. Concealed in the forest at the bottom of that military rat trap, in which 100 men in possession of the axes might have starved an army to submission, lay 5 regiments of Federal infantry. At nightfall they will take to the road again, climb to the place where the unfaithful sentinel now slept, and descending the other slope of the ridge, fall upon a camp of the enemy at about midnight. Their hope was to surprise it, for the road led to the rear of it. In case of failure, their position would be perilous in the extreme. And fail, they surely would shoot accident or vigilant surprise the enemy of the movement. We find a young Virginian named Carter Drews lying in a clump of laurel one sunny afternoon in the autumn of 1861. He had just come from his father's house. He had gone there to give his father some news.
Father, you wouldn't believe this. A Union regiment has arrived at Grafton. I am going to join it.
Well, go, my son, and whatever my car, do what you conceive to be your duty.
I hope you will not think too badly of me, sir.
You, you are a traitor, my son. However, that does not diminish my love for you.
I cannot help it, Father. It's what I feel in my heart. You know I'm in agreement with President Lincoln. You know that I don't believe the Union should be divided. I am also deeply opposed to slave labor.
You have a right to your belief, my son. Virginia will get on without you. Should we put life to the end of the war, we will speak further of the matter.
I am going in to say goodbye to Mother.
She is gravely ill. It will be best if you didn't tell her everything.
I promise, Father, I will just tell her goodbye. Mother, may I come in?
Yes, my son, come in.
Mother, how are you feeling?
A little better, dear. A little better.
Mother, I just want to say goodbye for a while. I'm leaving today.
Is your regiment leaving today?
Yes. we're pulling out today.
Good luck, son. And don't worry. We're going to win. The South is going to win.
Um, yes, Mother. Of course. We're going to win. Goodbye, Mother.
Goodbye, my sweet son. God be with you.
Son, your mother is in the most critical condition. At the best, she cannot be with us longer than a few weeks.
I sensed when I was in there that I was almost like to never see her again. It hurt me very much, Father. But I must go. I say goodbye to her.
Goodbye, son. God be with you.
Goodbye, Father.
So Carter dressed, bowing reverently to his father, who returned the salute with a stately courtesy that masked a breaking heart. Left the home of his childhood to go soldiering. By conscience and courage, by deeds of devotion and daring, he soon commended himself to his fellows and his officers. And it was to these qualities and to some knowledge of the country that he owed his selection for his present perilous duty at the extreme outpost. Nevertheless, fatigue had been stronger than resolution, and he had fallen asleep. What good or bad angel came in a dream to rouse him from his state of crime? Who shall say? Without a movement, without a sound, in the profound silence and the languor of the late afternoon, some invisible messenger of fate touched with unsealing ginger the eyes of his consciousness, whispered into the ear of his spirit the mysterious awakening word, which no human lips ever have spoken, no human memory ever has recalled. He quietly raised his forehead from his arm and looked between the masking stems of the laurels, instinctively closing his right hand about the sock of his rifle.
What has happened? Have I slept through war? Is the war now over? What is that I see before me? What it looks like a statue, a shoulder on a horse against the sky. No, I'm wrong, for it is not a statue. It is enemy. I must prepare my rifle. But I cannot see the rider's face. He is turned away from me. Wait. He is starting to face me now. Oh my God.
Is it then so terrible to kill an enemy in war? An enemy who has surprised a secret vital to the safety of oneself and comrades. An enemy more formidable for his knowledge than all his army for its numbers. Carter's wrist grew pale. He shook in every limb, turned faint, and saw the statuesque group before him as black figures, rising, falling, moving unsteadily in arcs of circles in a fiery sky. His hand fell away from his weapon. His head slowly dropped until his face rested on the leaves in which he lay. This courageous gentleman and hardy soldier was near swooning from intensity of emotion.
My God. My God. I must do it. I must.
It was not for long. In another moment, his face was raised from earth. His hands resumed their places on the rifle. His forefingers saw the trigger. Mind, heart, and eyes were clear. Conscience and reason sound. He could not hope to capture that enemy. To alarm him would but send him dashing to his camp with his fatal news. The duty of the soldier was plain. The man must be shot dead from embrace. Without a warning, without a moment's spiritual preparation, with never so much as an unspoken prayer, he must be sent to his account. But no, there is a hope. He may have discovered nothing. Perhaps he is but admiring the sublimity of the landscape. If permitted, he may turn and ride carelessly away in the direction whence he came. Surely it will be possible to judge at the instant of his withdrawing whether he knows. It may well be that his fixity of attention. Drus turned his head and looked through the depths of air downward, as from the surface to the bottom of a translucent sea. He saw creeping across the green meadow a sinuous line of figures of men and horses. Some foolish commander was permitting the soldiers of his escort to water their beasts in the open, in plain view from a dozen sides.
Oh, fellow, let's make it fast. I feel Yankee are staring down at me.
Why did that damn fool of a captain make us stop here? It's danger! So it's me. This good horse could have made it much farther.
I couldn't have made it much farther myself.
Drus withdrew his eyes from the valley and fixed them again upon the group of men and horse in the sky, and again withdrew the sight of his rival. But this time his aim was at the horse. In his memory, as if they were a refined mandate, from the words of his father at their parting.
Whatever may come, do what you conceive to be your duty.
Drus was calm now. His teeth were firmly but rigidly closed. His nerves were as tranquil as a sleeping babe's. The tremor affected any muscle of his body. His breathing, unsuspended in the act of taking aim, was regular and slow, that had conquered.
My God. My God. I must do it. I must.
An officer of the federal force, who in a spirit of adventure or increase of knowledge had left the hidden refuge in the valley, and with aimless feet had made his way to the lower edge of a small open space near the foot of the cliff, was considering what he had to gain by pushing his exploration farther at a distance of a quarter-mile before him, but apparently at a stone's throw rose from its fringe of pines the gigantic face of rock, towering to so great a height above him that it made him giddy to look up to where its edge cut a sharp, bright line against the sky. It presented a clean, vertical profile against a background of blue sky to a point half the way down, and of distant hills, hardly less blue, thanks to the tops of the trees at its base. Lifting his eyes to the dizzy altitude of its summit, the officer saw an astonishing sight: a man on horseback riding down into the valley through the air.
Well, look up there. Looks like he's riding on a thin air.
Straight upright sat the rider, in military fashion, with a firm seat in the saddle. A strong clutch opened the rein to hold his charger from too impetuous aplomb. From his bare head, his long hair streamed upward, waving like a plume. His hands were concealed in the cloud of the horse left mane. The animal's body was as level as if every hoof-stroke encountered the resistant earth. It motioned with the wheels of a wide gallop, but even as the officer looked, they ceased, with all the legs thrown sharply forward, as in the act of alighting from a leap. But this was a flight. Filled with amazement and terror by this apparition of a horseman in the sky, half believing himself in the chosen scribe of some new revelation, the officer was overcome by the intensity of his emotion.
My legs failed me and I fell. Almost at the same instant, I heard a brushing sound in the trees, a sound that died without any echo and all was still. I rose to my feet, trembling, pulling myself together. I ran rapidly, obliquely away from the cliff to a point distant from its foot. Thereabout, I expected to find my man. Thereabout, I naturally felt. In the fleeting inside of this vision, my imagination had been so wrought upon by apparent glance and ease, and intention of marvelous performance, that it did not occur to me that the line of march of aerial cavalry is directly downward, and that I could have found the object of this search at the very foot of cliff. A half hour later, I returned to the camp. I, being a wise man, now better than to tell incredible truth, I said nothing of what I had seen, but then the commander questioned me.
In your expedition, did you learn anything of advantage?
Yes, sir. There's no road leading down into this valley from the southward.
Is that so?
Back at the extreme outpost, Carter Drews reloaded his rifle. He is approached by a federal surgeon.
Did you fire?
Yes,
At what?
a horse. It was standing on yonder rock, pretty far out. You see, it is no longer there, it went over the cliff. Drew's face was white, but he saw no other sign of emotion. Having answered, he turned away his eyes and said no more. The surgeon did not understand.
See here, Dress. It's no use making a mystery. I order you to report. Was there anybody on the horse?
Yes,
Who, Carter?
my father.
Good God!
What does one do in a situation in which one must make a choice between two alternatives, both of which may be wrong morally? Carter Drews felt obligated to join an army. That decision thrust open him a whole new set of responsibilities. He must destroy the enemy. He had a duty to protect his comrades. But the Army Code does not say how one's military obligation affects his other responsibility. Duty to God or to family. Thus, Carter Truce was forced into a situation in which either decision he made seemed morally wrong. After the war ended, many soldiers like Carter Truce returned home with a heavy conscience, their enemy having been, in many cases, their own brethren. In spite of all the sorrow and pain caused, the Civil War did accomplish many things. It ends slave labor. It settled the question of whether a state could secede, and it cemented the Union of the United States of America.